Being told you can only wear solid colors on video is like being forced to eat one flavor of ice cream for the rest of your life. It gets a little boring for you and for everybody else. There's a whole world of pattern and prints out there, and I, for one, refuse to be put in a box. But here's the thing when it comes to prints. Not all patterns and prints are created equal on video. So today I'm going to show you exactly what prints and patterns work on video and what might be secretly sabotaging your professional presence. Like me, you've probably been told to stay away from prints on camera and just stick to solid colors. But that advice is actually only half right. Now, yes, some prints are absolute disasters on camera, but some are fantastic if you know what to look for. Here's the thing that nobody tells you. Designers create patterns and prints for in-person wear. They're not thinking about, gee, I wonder how that print shows up on camera. And what does that look like when it's cropped in the top third frame, as most styles are? So this is how you end up with those prints that look gorgeous in the mirror and are a complete disaster on screen. But, and this is important, there are just as many stunning patterns and prints out there that look great on camera if you know the rules. So the good news is we're going to look at prints and patterns that don't work and do work on camera and why, and we're going to bring some personality and pizzazz back to your virtual wardrobe. By the way, if you're new here, my name's Julie Hanson, and I share virtual tips on how to look and feel confident and professional on camera all year round. If that speaks to you, please consider subscribing and join us on this journey. So first up, let's talk about a very common problem when it comes to wearing patterns on camera, and that is what I call the pattern placement problem. So this is a beautiful silk top I got a couple years ago from designer Kobe Halperin. And what I like about it is it's bold, it's vibrant, it draws your attention, but the pattern is really in that top third zone. So it sort of forms a complete picture. So contrast that with this pattern. This is a beautiful floral shirt in person. However, on camera, it cuts the pattern off awkwardly, creating this jagged, incomplete look. This is what I call a bottom-heavy pattern. Most of the design is on the bottom of the shirt. When things cut off awkwardly like this, your audience's brain goes to work trying to fill in the gaps, which means you've just turned your clothing into a visual distraction. So I got this blouse from an online retailer called Uzi, and they had a number of kind of fun blouses that I thought might be interesting on video. This one in particular caught my eye because of the bold print and also the nice separation of the bodice with this built-in vest here between the body and the arms, which is a nice touch on video. It gives you more of a silhouette. However, this print is a little too bold, and when it's a stark contrast like this black and white, it kind of takes over the screen. So let's look at abstract patterns done right. So this blouse from Chiara Boni is one of my favorites because it's a beautiful print pattern and it's easier on the eyes, and that's because it's not that dramatic contrast between black and white that we saw in the last one. The tones are more muted, they're in the same color family, so it really flows nicely and it doesn't have a distinct stop or start to the pattern so it doesn't cut off awkwardly. I really wanted this geometric print vest from Veronica Beard to work out on video. I mean, it's obviously a polished look for professional meetings or social events, but see what's happening here? This green and white weave creates what I call the dreaded vibrating pattern effect on camera. I mean, the weave is so tight that it almost seems to shimmer or move on screen. Tight patterns like this can be incredibly distracting for your virtual audience. When your clothes vibrate, your credibility sort of evaporates. Now, this abstract pattern from designer Joseph Rykoff is absolutely a fantastic way to wear both abstract print and black on camera. You can see that the difference is not as stark as a black and white. It's a black and a sort of bluish gray vein through it, which just is a nice kind of almost creates a neutral effect, but it's very compelling nonetheless. And again, it's not solid black, so you can have a little more definition in your shape, and it doesn't turn you into a blob on camera as black alone can tend to do. So this is a little printed top I got from Macy's a couple years ago, and I liked it because of the richness of the color and the interesting neckline. So you have a pattern both in the neckline and then on the shirt, but it's very simple and sort of pulled together. It's not too busy with a lot of little patterns here, and the neckline is very flattering, and it's just a great way to wear a print. I absolutely fell in love with this top when I saw it at Free People. It's a beautiful color, different shades of green that really work together nicely, and a couple of different patterns that in person look great. It's got stripes, it's got pattern on the bodice, it's got a different pattern on the sleeve. However, on camera, it's got a little too much going on. Stripes, 3 different patterns going in different directions, and it's a lot to take in for your audience. I am going to reserve this one for my in-person wardrobe only. So here's why this matters. If you are investing in clothing and you spend at least half your day working on camera, you need to make sure that those pieces work both in person and on video. Okay, so we looked at a number of tops with prints or patterns that either work on camera or don't work, and why. So let's recap that very quickly. First, you want to avoid small, tight patterns that create that vibrating effect, oversized prints that dominate the screen, stripes in general, trust me on this, and prints that are placed too low on the garment that get cropped awkwardly. What works on camera beautifully, usually medium to large florals with good spacing, and colors that are in the similar color family or muted tones. Patterns, of course, placed in the top third of the garment, and prints that complement rather than compete with your message. And you absolutely do not have to resign yourself to a closet full of boring solids. You shouldn't have to choose between looking polished and having personality. With the right patterns in the right places, you can have both. So tell me, have you just been avoiding prints on camera? What's your favorite pattern to wear? Drop it in the comments. And consider subscribing if you'd like to learn more about how to dress professionally with personality on video. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you soon.